named Zayd ibn Samin. Zayd ibn Samin is a Jewish man. So he's not a Muslim at all. He's not from the same religion at all. This is an important point. So this is the story. These are the four people we have in our story. All right. So what happens? So Qatada ibn Nu'man, as all people in Medina would, whenever it was the season to prepare your wheat and for bread in the next couple of months, he would go and he would buy in bulk. He would buy wheat and he would buy all this other fruit and vegetables and just whatever he's going to need for the next couple of months. Yes. So Qatada ibn Nu'man, the uncle who just accepted Islam. So he bought all this stuff and he put it in a cabin or in a shack that was outside of his house, and it was locked. And he put all the stuff that he just bought. It was very expensive. Back in the day, for you to have enough wheat to eat bread throughout the winter meant you were pretty well off. You were doing really well. There was no superstore or Walmart back then for you to go buy things from. So either you had enough wheat for the winter, or you just didn't need bread. It was as simple as that. And many people didn't. Many people went through the winter just eating dates and whatever they could. Nothing that was nourishing enough so that people would get hungry. You would see people at the end of winter, they were much weaker. They had lost a lot of weight throughout the winter. And now comes summer, they can go out, they can work, and they can use the land, and they can bring some vegetables, grow vegetables and eat. They'll get better. So during the winter, it's important that you have enough of what you need. So Qatada is just preparing they call mu'na or muni. Right? He's putting all his wheat. So he did all that. He closed the door, and he goes in to his home. Two sons of Ubaydah see him doing it. Wait until it's midnight. Break the lock, open the door, and they steal as much as they can carry. They steal as much as they can carry. They just carry as much wheat as they possibly can and walk away with it. They weren't very smart. The wheat bag had a hole in it, and there was a trail of wheat from the cabin to their home. So Qatada ibn Nu'man wakes up in the morning. He finds that someone had broken into his shack. He's very angry. And he calls upon his nephew, Rafah ibn Zayd. Now Rafah is scared that his uncle, because of this, what just happened, he's going to lose Islam again. Because he's a new Muslim. He's fearing that, you say, well, I just be a Muslim. The first thing that happens to me is I lose all my money. This is what happened to become a Muslim. I don't want to be a Muslim anymore. So Rafah is scared of that reaction. He doesn't want that to happen. So he's telling Qatada, okay, uncle, calm down. I'll take care of it for you. I will take care of this for you. I'll figure this out for you. Just want you to relax. Go pray Asr or whatever. The masjid. Let me take care of this for you. So Qatada goes. He looks at the lock. He sees the trail of wheat. He follows it. He sees where it's going, and he knows where it went. He goes to the house of the sons of Ubaydah, and he can hear them all gathered up, and he can smell bread and he can smell food. Right. So now he has. How much evidence does he have against them? Yeah. You have lawyers here that will tell you that probably wouldn't stand up in a court of law, would it? Yeah, probably wouldn't work. Easy to debunk. Easy to say, well, whatever, I don't know where that wheat came from. Did you see me? Are there fingerprints? Nope, there's nothing. What, I can't eat in my backyard and make bread? That's nothing. But he has a high level of suspicion. Probably them. So Qatada sees all this, and he decides he has to go tell the Prophet. Now, one of the sons of Ubaydah is sitting on the roof. But Rafah didn't see. And he sees Rafah seeing all that. He sees Rafah working it out in his mind. Right? So he gets scared. He's like, okay, guys, I think we're caught. We need to act proactively so we don't get in trouble. So what are we going to do? So amongst the things that they had stolen wheat, food, and they stole a shield. Now, what was the most valuable thing amongst everything they stole? Shield, 100%. A shield back then was worth a lot of money because you took it with you to war. It was made out of steel. To actually have something made out of steel back then was very difficult to come by. So Qatada's he was upset. Yes, he lost the wheat, but what really upset him is that someone took his shield from his side. This was his biggest problem, that I need that shield back. But it was the wheat that gave it away. So the sons of Ubaydah see Rafah making out, understanding, figuring out what's happening. So they want to quickly fix this. So they gather their family. They gather extended family members. And they tell them, okay, look, this is what happened, this is what we did yesterday. We don't want to get in trouble. We need you all to go to the Prophet ﷺ and say that we were with you last night. And that these people who are accusing us of stealing are liars, that we were with you, all of you. So now they got the extended family involved. They got uncles and cousins. Now some of these uncles and cousins were like, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm not sure. But because family ties back then, sometimes there was still a lot of racism. Sometimes a lot of corruption. They went with it. So Rafa'a goes to the Prophet ﷺ, and he tells him, Rasulullah, this is what happened to Qatada, my uncle. I am fearing that he's going to lose his Islam because of this. And they stole a shield of his that he inherited from his grandfathers, and he's very upset. And I saw the wheat trail going. I'm not saying they did it, but I saw the wheat trail. So I don't know, Rasulullah, what should I do? So the Prophet ﷺ said, give me some time to think on this. So the Prophet ﷺ sends Rafa'a home, he thinks about it, and as he's thinking, Ubayriq's kids and the extended family, they come in, they say, Rasulullah, we heard that someone came and accused us of stealing. And this is ayib, this is shameful. We did not steal anything. We are known to be this and this, and we've never touched anything. The person who stole it was his neighbor. And they accuse Zayd ibn Samim. This man has no understanding of what's happening at all. He knows nothing about this. He's going on his day, just going about his day as normal. And they accuse him. Now you say, well, how are they going to accuse him if there was no evidence? Oh, but they thought one step forward. So Ubaydah, the two sons of Ubaydah, what did they do? They took the shield and they went to Zayd ibn Samim's house, backyard. They dug a hole, they put it in it, and they covered it up. And when they went to tell the Prophet ﷺ, Rasulullah, they're accusing us, shame on them. We are Muslim families, we are good people, we are ethical people, we would never do this. They are accusing us, Ya Rasulullah, we are Muslims, and the person who stole him is the Jewish neighbor. And we saw him putting the shield in the ground, Ya Rasulullah, last night. So the Prophet ﷺ now, he's hearing the story. He was like, all right, so let's see if this is true. They go and they knock on Zayd ibn Samim's door. And Zayd has no idea what's happening whatsoever. And they accuse him of it. And he denies he did it. And they tell him, well, let us take a look at your backyard first. And see. He's like, of course, come on in, because he didn't do anything. He doesn't know what happened. So it's fun, go ahead, take a look at my backyard. They take a look at the backyard and they bring out the shield. Zayd ibn Samim's face, jaw drops. And now he looks really bad. Now he doesn't look good for him. He looks like a liar. And the popular opinion at that point becomes that Zayd stole it. And shame on Rafa'a for accusing the sons of Ubaydah from doing this. Shame on him. And this is what the popular opinion was. And the Prophet ﷺ, that day he didn't make a ruling. By the time this all happened, it was nighttime. So he said, let's leave this till tomorrow. But the Prophet ﷺ at that point was towards accusing Zayd of doing it, because that's all the evidence that he has in front of him. He has no evidence to suspect it's the sons of Ubaydah. Most likely it's Zayd who did it. And that's how things go. And Rafa'a is feeling horrible because he's like, I accuse people and now I look like a liar, and it's just a big mess. It's a big mess. Press the go forward. So if you know something he said, so the way it's put is the wrong way. So the first ayah is on the left, it's not on the right. So the first ayah is Inna anzalna ilayk. And then this page after that is the continuation of it. Jibreel came to the Prophet ﷺ at a time he never came to him before. Usually Jibreel is very respectful of his times. When he comes to the Prophet ﷺ, he comes to him during daytimes. When he's awake, when he's out there. When he's sleeping, because the Prophet ﷺ got very little sleep in his life, he wouldn't come and wake him up. But tonight, Jibreel is coming to wake him up. Wake up, Muhammad. Wake up. Ya Rasulullah, wake up. I need to talk to you. So the Prophet ﷺ wakes up and Jibreel is there. Okay, memorize. And the ayat. إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ بِالْحَقِّ لِتَحْكُمَ بَيْنَ النَّاسِ بِمَا أَرَاكَ اللَّهُ وَلَا تَكُنْ لِلْخَائِنِينَ خَصِيمًا وَاسْتَغْفِرِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. Indeed, we have descended the book upon you with righteousness, so that you may judge amongst people with what you see, with the ability that you have. I mean, we can't ask you to figure things out that you have no ability to figure out. Look at things with the best objectivity that you can possibly have, but do not stand by those who are traitors. Those who betray others, you should not be fighting with them, you should not be a part of what they do. And ask Allah for forgiveness. Astaghfirullah. You're being told to ask for forgiveness. What did the Prophet ﷺ do wrong? Nothing really, but someone was going to be convicted of something they didn't do. Someone was going to be convicted of doing something that they didn't do. Right? Zayd ibn Sira did nothing at all, he had no idea what was happening, was going to be convicted, most likely, of doing something he did not, a crime he did not commit. وَاسْتَغْفِرِ اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا وَلَا تُجَادِلْ عَنِ الَّذِينَ يَخْتَانُونَ أَنفُسَهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ مَنْ كَانَ خَوَّانًا أَثِيمًا. And Ya Rasulullah, I'm telling you now, Allah is saying to him, I'm telling you now, do not ask me to forgive those who betrayed themselves and betrayed their communities. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not like traitors, and does not like those who sin. Because the one of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Prophet, it was the sons of Ubaydah who took it. Alayhi salatu wasalam's way of going by things. Whenever anyone makes a mistake, the Prophet asks for forgiveness for them. Ya Rabb, forgive them. Whoever they may be. Doesn't matter who they are. The Prophet asks Allah to forgive them. Even the munafiqeen, when they came to him and they lied to his face, and they said, Ya Rasulullah, we couldn't go with you. And I broke my leg and it didn't break anything. The Prophet said, Allahumma forgive them. May Allah forgive me. He would ask forgiveness for them. He never deprived people from asking for forgiveness. And here he's told, don't argue on their behalf. Don't say anything. Is this the first time, is the only time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said something like that to a prophet? No. He said that to Ibrahim. Ibrahim was going to argue to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about the people of Lut. Ya Ibrahim, a'rad an hada. No, don't say, innahu qad ja'a amru rabbik. The command of your Lord has already come. Just don't argue with him. And the same thing for Nuh, right? So Nuh alayhi salam was told to do the same thing for his own people. What's the verse in Surah Al-Mu'minun? What is the ayah? Anyone know? وَلَا تُخَاطِبْنِي فِي الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا إِنَّهُمْ مُغْرَقُونَ. Don't talk to me about those who are going to be punished today. So sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell the Prophet, don't argue on behalf of those who sin. When will you do that? When the sin is horrific. When the sin is horrible. When the sin is something that you should, it's just the magnitude of it is too big. So when he told Ibrahim not to argue, it was the sin of the people of Lut alayhi salam, and what they did. When he told Nuh not to argue, it was 950 years of da'wah and they still didn't listen. And then he tells the Prophet ﷺ again here. What did they do? They tried to accuse someone of doing something. They set someone up. They framed someone. Made it seem as if he did something he did not do. Listen to the continuation of the verses. يَسْتَخْفُونَ مِنَ النَّاسِ وَلَا يَسْتَخْفُونَ مِنَ اللَّهِ وَهُوَ مَعَهُمْ إِذْ يُبَيِّتُونَ مَا لَا يَرْضَى مِنَ الْقَوْلِ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ مُحِيطًا. They hide from the eyes of people. You don't want people to know what they did, but they're not hiding from the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have no shame from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As they talk amongst each other and say things that He does not accept. What did they say? Well, not just the fact that they stole, but that they gathered the family and they asked them to lie on their behalf. And they said, okay. He complied. Now they helped them out. They helped them out. Sometimes you don't do the mistake, and you think that the argument, well, I didn't do it. Yeah, but you didn't say anything when it was done. Yeah, I know, but I didn't do it. Well, who said that's enough? You saw someone steal from someone else and you let it happen. If you were the one who was being stolen from, would you be okay with the person watching it and not saying anything? Would you be okay with it? No, you wouldn't. And you would think that was not proper, not appropriate. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ مُحِيطًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows all that they are doing. There's all clear things subhanahu wa ta'ala. هَا أَنْتُمْ هَؤُلَاءِ جَادَلْتُمْ عَنْهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. See, here people are defending them and saying, no, forgive them, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Rabb, forgive them. فَمَنْ يُجَادِلُ اللَّهَ عَنْهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. But I ask you, who will stand up for them on the day of judgment when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes them for this? No one will. It's a threat to them for what they do. So if you go on with the verses, the last one, before the last one. وَمَنْ يَكْسِبَ خَطِيئَةً أَوْ إِثْمًا. He who sins or who makes a mistake, does something wrong. ثُمَّ يَرْمِ بِهِ بَرِيئًا. And then he goes and accuses someone else of doing it. Now we've all done that as kids with our brothers and sisters. If you're an older sibling, you've done it with your younger sibling 100% at least a few times. Right? And that's when you're a kid, it's understood. It's understood. When I was a kid, I used to blame my brother Ismail for everything. He did nothing, Miskeen. Well, he did nothing. I did it all. I was the problem calls her every time. But when you're a kid, that's when you're older, the only evidence that you are a good citizen, a good person, a good Muslim is the fact that you're honest, is that you will live up to your mistake. If you make a mistake, own it. I made the mistake, I'll take the consequences for it. No one likes taking the consequences of their mistakes, but only true Muslims and good people will. And you will not learn from your mistakes, and you will not grow, and you will not become a better person. You will not succeed in life if you do not own up to your mistakes. Wallahi, it is a very refreshing thing to do. If you didn't do the job, don't try and weasel your way out of it. Just stand there and say, I messed up, it was my fault, I accept the consequences. If you lose your Xbox hours, or your phone is taken away from you, or you can't go here, you can't go there, accept it and live with it because it was your fault to begin with. You need to own up to your mistakes. It's an important part of being alive. It's an important part of being a good person. Lying is the easy way out. Right? Lying to your parents and trying to find is an easy way out. Just be brave, be courageous, be righteous, be a good person. Just say, I made a mistake. Don't accuse someone else. He who does that, فَقَدْ احْتَمَلَ بُهْتَانًا وَإِثْمًا مُبِينًا. He's committed buhtan, I mean the worst type of lying, and he has carried a horrible sin. Someone who accuses someone else of doing something that they didn't do. Be very scared and be very, very aware of that. If you made a mistake, just stand there and say, I made it. It feels bad, but know this, people will respect you for it. People will respect you for it. Doesn't mean you're not going to get punished. You'll get punished, but people will respect you for it. At least he's honest. He's an honest person. But once you become a liar, how does anyone deal with you? How do I know anything you tell me is true? How do I trust you ever again? There's no trust. That's why the beginning of the verses talked about betrayal. This is betrayal. You're betraying others. You're lying. You're betraying. This is betrayal. Once someone betrays you, you can never trust them again. Be very, very simple. Imagine this story. This ayah came. This ayah came to prove the innocence of Zayd ibn Sanim, a non-Muslim person in a Muslim community. Are you understanding what this ayah did? The Quran came down to the Prophet in the middle of the night. He didn't wait till the Fajr. No, it came in the middle of the night, woke him up to prove the innocence of a non-Muslim man. And to make sure that the Muslim person who did this was accused of it and was convicted and was punished for it. Even though, to make this story even more complicated, the sons of Ubayr are from Khazraj and Qatada is from Aus, from the two tribes that have been fighting for the last 100 years. To make it even worse, yet the Quran did not hold back. Why? Because justice is justice. There is no two ways of looking at it. Just because he's not a Muslim doesn't mean he doesn't deserve justice. People who are not like you, don't look like you, are different from you, different religion, different nationality, different background, they are deserving of every civil right that you deserve. Every civil right. And why is this important right now? A couple of months ago, or maybe it's probably more than that now, maybe almost a year ago, I talked about issues within this community regarding the LGBTQ community. Talking about those who have different ways of looking at sexual orientation. And at school, there's a lot of education regarding this, and the world is moving in a certain direction regarding these issues. And during that khutbah, I explained something, I'm going to reiterate it again today. We don't agree with what they do. We completely, under no circumstances, agree with this type of behavior, period. It is haram, and there's no two ways of looking at this. However, we don't accept anyone losing their civil rights regardless of what they do, regardless of who they are. Even if someone does something that is to you completely horrible, you do not accept this at all. This is a type way of life that goes against every part of your existence. It goes against your ethics, your morals, your deen. Do they deserve to have their civil rights or not? Of course they do. It doesn't matter who they are and how they behave. It doesn't matter if you agree with them or not. You don't have to like them. Every human being living in a society is deserving of having equal civil rights to everyone else. And the Quran came middle of the night, woke up the Prophet ﷺ to tell him that that Muslim person did it and this Jewish person didn't. And you need to announce that now, Ya Rasulullah. So he got on the minbar ﷺ right before Fajr. He called all the Muslims and recited the verses. And he told them, the sons of Ubayr did it, and Zayd is innocent. And that's the value of justice in Islam. Justice is higher than all, than everything else. Nothing is more important than justice. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the value of righteousness is a value. It's something that exists in your heart and mind. The haqq. What is the manifestation of haqq? What is the practice of haqq? What is it? It's adl, it's justice. Haqq is a value. All it is a value. Haqq doesn't really have, there's really nothing that you can pin haqq to in terms of a practice. This is haqq. Haqq is an idea. It's a way of looking at things. It's knowing what is right and wrong. It's a feeling. It's a thought. How does it manifest itself in the world? The manifestation of it is adl, is justice. It is the immediate, it's the direct result of haqq is adl, is justice. And nothing is more important than haqq in terms of values, and nothing is more important than justice in terms of practices. And a non-Muslim person was inaugurated, or was proved innocent in the middle of the night by the Quran, and a Muslim person was accused. And this caused problems between Aus and Khazraj, but that's okay. You can say, well, why did the Quran come to do this? Couldn't have been done secretly or quietly, so that the problems between Aus and Khazraj didn't get bigger, so that the sons of Ubaydah and Qatada wouldn't start calling, oh, you're from this tribe and you guys have always been thieves. And no, justice is worthy of an announcement. That's the value of it. It's going to come in the form of Quran, so that you and I recite these verses till Yawm al-Qiyamah. And every time we recite, we remember Zayd ibn Sameen, a non-Muslim person who never accepted Islam. It's not like Zayd, see the nice ending to the story would be, and then Zayd read these ayat and said, Allah, beautiful. And he said, Ashhadu an. He didn't. He doesn't have to. And that wasn't the point of these verses. We weren't trying to impress Zayd. These verses didn't come to try and impress him so he become a Muslim. No, because these verses came because these are our values. This is how we live. Justice above all. And everyone deserves their civil rights and deserve to be treated equally. Period. And no one is more valuable than anyone else. So these are the lessons that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught the Muslim community within the end of the 5th year of his hijrah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the beginning of the 6th year of his hijrah. It was a very, very dynamic time. A lot of Quran was revealed. It was a high velocity time of Quran. Quran was coming every day with lessons addressing behaviors, telling the Sahaba, you can't act like that, you can't speak like that, this is the story, this is what needed to happen, this is how you're supposed to think. And addressing the big stuff, how does assumptions and mockery and equality and racism and marriage and hijab and zina issues of society, and even matters inside the house, inside your house, you're supposed to teach your kids to knock on the door at certain times. And when they're older, you should knock on the door every time. A closed door is a closed door. You don't open it without knocking. It's just a way of life. It's practices. And the question that we all have to answer is, are you willing to take this on? Is this something you're going to be a part of? Are you going to practice this? Or is this just words on a piece of paper? We all claim that we love and respect, and it's beautiful, and you hold the Quran, you tell people, see, we have the best book. We have the best book. Really? Prove it. Prove it. Are you going to read it? I don't understand a word of Arabic. Not me, but no. Prove it. Let me see how the Quran changes your society. Let me see how you take the Quran, you practice the Quran, and then the society is a loving society, it's a respecting society. A society that puts value in justice and other people's well-being. Let that be the effect of it. And that is the direct effect of learning the Quran and practicing the Quran. It is. It did this before. It fixed the society of the Prophet, the Muslims. And it will fix our society again, if we just embrace it. Okay, and I'll leave it with that, inshallah. That's enough. I think I've pushed it. We have another 7 minutes. So what I'm going to do,